He remembered being human, not clearly, not with the kind of detail that lets you hold on to something, more like a smell you almost recognize. A word at the edge of your tongue that will not come. He knew he had been different once. He knew there had been a person inside this body before the body became this. He knew there had been a mind that made decisions instead of just following hunger. That made plans, that weighed outcomes, that kept records and honored agreements, and understood the difference between what was midmai nusva, vid the chafe kabera, useful, and what was merely satisfying. He could feel the edges of it sometimes, like a scar where something used to be, like the outline of a door that had been sealed from the other side. His name was Warwick, and what he had done to himself could not be undone. Not yet, maybe not ever, but he was still looking for the way. Subscribe if you are new. A new League of Legends story every week. This one is about a man who wanted power and forgot to ask what it would cost. Zaun has a particular kind of economy, not the official one. The one underneath, the one that runs on information and access and the willingness to do things that other people will not do. In this economy, Warwick was successful. He was a supplier. Specifically, a supplier of human subjects. For the researchers. For the experimenters. For the people working in the spaces where official science had drawn lines and unofficial science had crossed them. These people needed test subjects. They could not find them themselves. That was not their skill. Warwick's skill. He was good at it. Exceptionally good. He had a talent for identifying people who would not be missed. For locating individuals who existed in the gaps between official records. For finding the desperate ones. The ones who could be offered something small in exchange for something large. The ones who had no one to ask questions if they disappeared. Zaun produced many such people. This was not a coincidence. It was the economics of a city where the cost of a life was very specifically calculated. And very specifically low. He was not cruel about it. Not exactly. He was efficient. There is a difference. Or there is a story you can tell yourself where there is a difference. He told himself that story. For a long time it held. He was known for it. In the places where Zaun's underground economy had its conversations, his name carried weight. Not warmth, weight. The kind that comes from knowing someone will deliver, that they will not make excuses, that when something difficult needs to happen, it will happen. Clients did not like him. They did not need to like him. They needed to trust him, and they trusted him. Because he delivered. Every time. For a long time this was enough. Then the requests changed. Not suddenly, gradually. The clients wanted more unusual subjects, rarer conditions, more specific physiologies, and they wanted them faster. The window of acceptable delivery kept shrinking. The margin for error kept narrowing. He was running into limits, not willpower limits, not moral limits, physical ones. His body could only move so fast. His senses could only detect so much. His endurance was excellent. His methods were refined. But there was a ceiling. A hard ceiling. On what a human being could do. Even a very determined one. Even one who had spent years pushing that ceiling as high as it would go. The ceiling was still there. And the requests were now above it. He needed to raise it. Or break it. He chose to break it. He went to singe it. An old associate. A chemist whose relationship with the boundaries of acceptable science had been contentious. For years. Someone who had already decided that the point of research was not to stay within limits but to end what was beyond them. Warwick explained what he needed. More speed. Sharper senses. The ability to track and pursue and acquire at a level that a normal human body simply could not reach. Singed listened. And then Singed built something. A formula. Extraordinary in its ambition. Dangerous in its specifics. 3 components were essential. Silver from the Shadow Isles. Balefire extract from a great wolf. And the blood of something divine. The first two he obtained. Not easily, but he obtained them. The third was different. A celestial creature, something believed to carry the light of the stars in its blood, something whose existence was known only in stories. Except the stories were true. He tracked her to Ionia. Soraka, the Star Child. He found her. He set his trap. He was good at traps. He had been setting them for years. Soraka saw it coming. She recognized what was happening before it was finished, and she did not run. She pushed back, with magic that came from somewhere he did not have access to. From a connection to something larger than either of them. He left Ionia broken. Not broken in the dramatic sense, in the practical sense. Injured, humiliated, empty-handed. She had seen him coming before he was ready. She had responded with something he was not prepared for. Something that did not care about his methodology. Something that simply removed him from the situation. He had been removed from situations before. Not like this. Not by something that barely seemed to try. He returned to Singed, with nothing for the formula. But he did not return asking for patience. He returned asking for what had already been made. Singed had not finished it. The formula was incomplete. The third component was missing. He told Warwick this. He told him the consequences of taking an incomplete version. He told him clearly. Warwick took it anyway. Not because he did not believe Singed. He believed him. Singed was one of the few people whose technical judgment he respected completely. If Singed said the formula was incomplete, the formula was incomplete. If Singed said there would be consequences, there would be consequences. But he had decided the limitation was worse than the risk. Because waiting felt more dangerous than the unknown. Because the human part of him was already deteriorating. Not from the formula. From the situation. From the failure in Ionia. From the clients whose patience was finite. From the sense that the window was closing and the only move left was the one he had been warned not to make. Because he had spent his entire life in Zaun calculating risks, and this one felt manageable. It was not manageable. The transformation was immediate. And real. And everything Singed had promised on the power side. His senses expanded. He could smell a trail hours after it had been made. He could hear breathing through walls. He could feel the presence of living creatures the way a predator feels them. A fundamental alertness. A connection to the hunt that went below conscious thought. His physical capacity became something else entirely. He could move faster than he had imagined possible. He could push through pain that would have stopped him before. He could pursue. And pursue. And pursue. He was pleased. For a short time. For the first few days the transformation felt like only the good parts. The power. The speed. The senses that opened the world up in ways it had never been opened before. He felt like the ceiling had not just been raised, it had been removed. He could do what the clients asked now. He could do it faster and more reliably than before. For a short time. Then he noticed the other side, the thing Singed had been warning him about. The human part was getting quieter. Not gone, just quieter. The instincts were louder every day, the calculations he used to make. The patient assessment of situations, the ability to plan across. Days and weeks, these things were harder to access. They were still there, but reaching them required effort that it had never required before. The animal was pushing inward. It was patient. More patient than he was. He could feel it happening. He could not stop it. He could track a target across the entire Undercity. He could locate anyone, anywhere in Zaun by smell alone. He could pursue without tiring. But he could not bring them back alive. The instinct was too strong. The hunt completed itself before the human part could intervene. He was becoming less useful for what he had wanted the power for, and more dangerous in every other direction. He needed Soraka's blood. Not as a symbolic correction. As a practical necessity. The divine element missing from the formula was the stabilizer. Singed had been clear about this. The third component was not optional. It was not a refinement. It was the thing that made the rest of the formula work as intended. Without it, the transformation was consuming him. With it, there might be a balance. Some ratio of human and beast that could hold, that could function, that could let him be what he had wanted to be. A tool. A very powerful tool. Not a monster. He knew she was out there. He could feel her in a way he could not have before. The blood that he had failed to collect. Still existing somewhere. Still carrying what he needed. He was hunting her. Not with the careful methodology he used to use. With something raw. Something that was more animal than man now. Something that would not stop. He did not know how much of the human part was left. He did not know how much time remained before the question became irrelevant. He was moving. Following the scent of stars. The smell of something divine that existed nowhere else in the world. Something only he could track. Something only the wolf inside him could find. The cruel irony. The thing that was destroying him was also the only thing that could lead him to the cure. He needed the beast to find her, and then he needed the man to make the choice. He hoped the man was still there when he arrived. He was moving, hoping the man inside was still strong enough to use what he found, before the wolf decided it did not need to. If this story stayed with you, subscribe. Every week, a new League of Legends story, the ones who went too far to come back.